everybody. Welcome to the Cheap Pops Show. I'm Dave.
I'm Nick.
This is officially our first episode, and we're going to talk mostly wrestling. We're going to talk some other stuff, like we went and saw the new Batman movie.
That was freaking awesome.
Yeah, I really liked the Riddler in the Batman. I thought, Jesus, I can't even think of what his name. Robert Pattinson. I thought he was a good Batman.
Yeah, he definitely freaking was.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good movie. On that same day, we watched the first night of Wrestlemania, which we're definitely going to talk about because it was certainly interesting. But before we get into it, I want to thank Michael from the band The Sugar Hold for coming up with our intro music. The band is on Instagram. They're on Spotify and iTunes. I really hope you guys check them out. They do shows all the time. And we need to thank Dave Cole for our awesome logo. He does a lot of work. If you need a logo, he actually, if you've ever watched Game Changer Wrestling, he does a lot of the painting on the ring mats. You can check him out on Twitter at Davey Painting, and he has a website as well, DaveColeDojo.com. I was wondering, did you happen to see about Sunny, Tammy Sitch?
Not really.
No. Well, apparently she's fucked up again.
When doesn't she fuck up?
This is true. She started a car accident. She hit a parked car or a stopped car and ended up creating another collision and ended up killing a 75-year-old man.
Jeez.
So now she's going to jail again. And I don't know if she's ever going to get out, but that, she'll never, I don't think she'll ever be right. There's always something wrong with her. I feel bad because she was one of the, the biggest people in not quite the Attitude Era, but leading up into the Attitude Era, she was the first real diva, and...
Oh, wait, we're not supposed to call them divas anymore. God forbid. God.
When they were divas, she was the first diva.
Yeah.
But I thought that was crazy that, she screwed up again. And it's kind of almost comical at this point,
Yeah.
She gets out of jail and then she's eventually going to get back in, which is a scary thought.
Here's your get out of jail free card.
Yeah, right. I mean, she could have gone back to WWE at some point or something, but she's always doing something to screw up.
I doubt very much that WWE will want her back.
Oh no, I don't think they'll ever mention her as a Hall of Famer again for anything, But another thing I wanted to talk about is we went to a wrestling event a couple weeks ago down in Connecticut for Tough and Talented Wrestling. We traveled down to Torrington, Connecticut. It was over a 3-hour drive, which was, for a local show, that's quite a drive. But if you like it as much as we do, you got to meet my friend Bull Dread for the first time.
Yes.
You got to see him wrestle. He tagged with Slick Wagner Brown, which... If you're from the Northeast, you probably know who he is because he's been wrestling for 25 years. It was a really good show. We saw pretty much everybody on the card we had never seen before. Yeah. There was a great tag team we both agreed called the Stepdads.
That was fucking awesome.
It's a great gimmick. They're two great guys. We're hoping to interview them at some point. Just go on Twitter and check out the Stepdads. The gimmick is hilarious. They've even got a guy called the Stepson, and watch any of their matches. I'm sure they're pretty much, they keep the gimmick going, but they've got great merch. They've actually got a Pro Wrestling Tees store. So check out the Stepdads because, they weren't the greatest thing of the show, but they were definitely a highlight. And that's one thing I love about the independent shows is you see people you normally wouldn't see.
Yeah.
Because if we hadn't gone to that show, we never would have known who the Stepdads were.
No.
Unless they came up here,
Exactly.
So, I don't know if you noticed, but Jerry Lawler is going to be back on the Raw announced team. How many times are you going to go to that well, WWE? He's been horrible the past few years. He's horrible on the kickoff shows. Why would you bring him back? I can't stand Michael Cole,
And they keep his fucking ass around.
I don't understand why you want Jerry Lawler. His jokes are horrible. They've been horrible for the past few years.
And all I have to say, don't get rid of Pat McAfee.
No.
God forbid, please don't.
Yeah, no. Well,
because he's freaking awesome.
He's on SmackDown anyway, so I don't think that'll happen. But, so what are you going to do? Are you going to have Lawler replace Byron Saxton? Is he going to replace Corey Graves? Is this just going to be temporary because Corey Graves just got married? or is this going to be permanent? Because if this is going to be permanent, 3 hours of Jerry the King Lawler trying to do commentary again is just going to be awful. Just awful.
It lost he lost his momentum on commentary without JR.
Oh yeah, I mean even him with Michael Cole was bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, him and JR. I mean, because JR kind of kept in line. Once he got with other people, it was just I'm gonna throw some jokes out there for no reason, and he doesn't have puppies to talk about anymore.
No,
and
which is sad.
So if you really want me to not watch Raw, you're doing a damn good job. Because your show's boring as it is, and putting him on there. I mean, the guy's a legend. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. The guy's a legend. He can be entertaining. I've met him at many shows. He's a real nice guy. But he shouldn't be on the commentary team anymore. That's my opinion. Before we get into WrestleMania, a couple other things I want to talk about. Tomorrow I will be meeting Toni Storm, formerly of NXT and WWE and NXT UK, who's now in AEW. She's going to be doing an autograph signing about an hour away from here. I'm really excited about that. She's one of my favorites. And to know that she's in AEW and she's kind of got a winning streak going on, being in the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament is really cool. So I think it's cool that once these people get released, they end up coming to the Northeast for autograph signing because it's great for us to meet these people.
Another thing that's great is I don't know if anybody out there has played the new wrestling game yet, but it's loaded with tons of released superstars.
Right. Yep. It's because they have a long turnaround time for that. So
exactly.
You've been having a lot of fun playing that game.
Yes, I have. And it's a lot better than what they have been putting out.
Right.
The only thing I wish that they could have done away with is that they should never put fucking microtransactions in it.
Oh, yeah.
For the WWE card trading thing.
Right. Yeah.
Or I don't even know if it's card trading or whatever you want to fucking call it. It should have never been put in the fucking game.
Yeah, I get that. And another thing is, in a couple weeks, is the Impact Rebellion pay-per-view in Poughkeepsie. And we will be going along with another friend of mine named Steve. And this is actually going to be, I just turned 41 actually. And this is going to be the first pay-per-view I've ever been to in my life. And I'm really stoked about it. I know a lot of people don't watch Impact. And to be honest, that's a shame. Because they're putting out a really good product now. It's just, they're on a crap network. I can't get Access TV unless I pay for it, and I'm not going to pay for it.
The problem is with that was, you mind if I throw out his name there?
Yeah.
Jim Cornette was the one who talked about it on his podcast. Vince fucking Russo. The motherfucker, what do you call it? Bill of Sale?
Oh, stooged it off.
Yes.
Yeah. And
he kept fucking shooting himself in the fucking foot about it.
And once Anthem bought him, they were worried about putting him on their own network.
Yeah.
They aren't searching for a better network. And if Impact's making money and they can pay their wrestlers, that's great. But I wish they were on a better platform because they are putting out really good shows and not a lot of people are seeing it. The crossover that AEW and Impact have been doing is good, and Impact has a relationship with New Japan, so a lot of the Bullet Club guys like Jay White are on there, and the Good Brothers. The Good Brothers have been on there for a while.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite wrestlers, male or female, is Deonna Purrazzo, and I think she's awesome on that. That she does the Champ Challenge because she has 2 titles, and you can challenge for one of them. I hope I have the Impact Plus app, which is I think it's $7 a month. So Impact drops on Thursdays the same time on the app as it does on TV. And I have the app just for the classic content anyway, so I can watch it, whether I have Access TV or not. So I like that. But this pay-per-view looks really good. Moose against Josh Alexander is the main event. I think Jay White's going to be wrestling. I think he's going to be wrestling Chris Sabin, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't watched this week's, so I haven't had a chance to see what else is going to be going on. But I think it's going to be great traveling for a pay-per-view. We bought general admission seats. They were only $25.
Which is not bad.
No, especially for a pay-per-view.
Exactly. This will be my first fucking pay-per-view.
Right.
And I'm 29.
Yeah. But I just, I think it's cool that we're actually going to get to go do that. And we'll do a review of it. And I'm sure we'll post some pictures of it. And you like taking videos. So,
yes.
If we don't get copyright infringement, we might do short videos of it. But,
yeah.
that's pretty much what's going on with us. But getting into the meat of the matter, WrestleMania. I got to admit, when I first went into this, I thought it was going to be bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there were parts of it that were bad, but some of the stuff.
Ronda and Charlotte.
Yeah. Some of it surprised me actually. Bianca Belair against Becky Lynch.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was a really good match. The whole two women's titles thing bothers me. Just have one title for each. You've got the women's tag titles, so you can get more women on the shows. You can do women's matches without having a title. I don't understand why. I mean, before you used to have Trish and Molly Holly wrestle, and you'd still have a wrestling match. So I don't understand why you have to another women's match. So I don't understand why you have to do that all the time. Apparently, somebody's calling to complain about what we're doing.
It might be Vince McMahon. Damn it.
Is he calling because we're talking about his show?
Yeah. Don't you know he looked like a fucking baby Ninja Turtle on there? We're just waiting for him to be like pizza.
Yeah. Take one of the baby Ninja Turtles from the first Ninja Turtles movie and compare that with a picture of Vince McMahon from Wrestlemania, and tell me that if you put a shell on Vince McMahon, he wasn't a Ninja Turtle.
That, or is he turtleish enough for the Turtle Club?
Yeah, turtle. The other match that I thought, if it wasn't for The Miz being in it, would actually be a good match.
Yeah.
The Mysterios against Logan Paul and Miz. Logan Paul was amazing. Some of these guys, these celebrities like McAfee, he's a wrestling fan anyways, so
yes.
that, but Logan Paul, that entrance with the $5 million Pokemon card around his neck, I thought that was really cool. The fact that you're carrying around a $5 million Pokemon card.
That's putting a fucking target on you.
With 70,000 people around you, that's asking for trouble, I guess. But I mean, you get one dishonest person in the backstage area that's going to snag that,
Right.
But he did great. I thought he was the best part of the match. I'm over the Mysterios. Ray was great, up until like 2004, 2005, in my opinion. Once he had the title, game set match for me as far as Rey Mysterio.
If you want to do anything with Dominic, anything, turn him against his father. Turn his ass fucking heel.
I think they will eventually, but
and to carry on with the storyline from 2005 with Eddie,
yeah, you could definitely
you could get away with doing that and being like, "You're not my real dad. Eddie is."
Yeah.
And have him do a great rivalry with his father and turn his ass fucking heel.
Yeah.
That's the only way that you can really have him go and progress.
I don't think Rey Mysterio should ever have been a heavyweight champion. I mean, the Intercontinental title looked big on him. When he put the World Heavyweight title on,
it looked like a toy on him.
It looked ridiculous.
He looked like basically he looked like a toy with the title.
It looked like if you bought a regular action figure and put a bigger title belt around
yes.
it, or one of those wrist title belts that that they sell. That's what it looked like to me, and I haven't really cared for Rey Mysterio in a long time, and I'm not gonna anymore. It's just, and Dominic, he should have been in NXT first. I don't understand why he went to the main roster. But Logan Paul was the only good part of this match, and The Miz, I haven't cared for The Miz in a long, long time. He's kind of like Randy Orton to me. They've been on TV continuously for so long that I don't want to see them anymore. At least Jericho went away for a while, and you were happy to see him come back. And he would do something different each time. It's just, okay, Orton's with Matt Riddle now. Okay, but he's still on the TV.
Yeah.
He's still doing something, and
it's not like he's doing anything behind the fucking scenes.
Yeah, not that I want to see John Cena come back, but
John Cena?
Yeah, but at least he'd be, a fresh, doing something, The next match, I don't understand why this was on WrestleMania. Maybe the pre-show, maybe it should have been. But Drew McIntyre against Happy Corbin. This was a SmackDown match to me. There was a little bit of stuff building it up, but it wasn't a good match. They haven't done anything with Drew McIntyre since he lost the title.
No, no, basically they're just trying to fucking bury him again.
Right. I can't understand how Corbin survived the last round of releases. I don't know what stuff he's got over Vince McMahon, but
it's the turtle thing. That's what he has over Vince.
He secretly knows he's a turtle. Yeah, I don't know what more I could say about this match. It wasn't good. It just wasn't good.
No.
The only thing Drew McIntyre's got going for him is the entrance with the sword, really.
Yes.
And the whole thing with cutting the ropes with the sword was just ridiculous. You could tell right away that they rigged that so it would just pop right off. But I mean, it's not like that sword's going to cut through the ropes anyways.
No,
I mean,
because they're steel fucking cables. It would have fucking bounced right off.
The ropes in WWE aren't steel cables. They're actual rope. But even though it's a regular sword's not going to cut through that.
No. Unless it's got some weight behind it.
Right. And I don't think Drew McIntyre can swing it with enough, force to knock down those ropes. But the next match, the Usos against Boogs and Nakamura. And unfortunately, Boogs got injured, tore his quad in the match. I can't say it was a bad match. I'm kind of over the Usos too. I like them. I like them as the Stooges for Roman. I think that's good.
Yes.
But again, you've got 2 tag team titles, and to me it doesn't matter if you've got 2 of the same and the fucking titles. All the belts look the same. They've all got just the big logo, and that's it. And they're a different color.
They just look like fucking toys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Roman's carrying around 2 belts that look the same, but they're different colors. I think they need to, now they've unified those titles with Roman. He needs to get just 1 belt because the carrying around the 2 titles, it was okay for Jericho for a little while. And then Triple H won it, and he ended up getting just a 1 belt. But the holding the 2 belts and Becky 2 belts and all that stuff, just unify them because they mean nothing when you've got, like I said, you can do women's matches or regular matches without having titles. Exactly. Having the Intercontinental title I like, having the U.S. title I like, because you do kind of need the secondary belts for some of these guys to go after, I think.
Oh, wait. Oh, Vince is going to get mad at us for calling them belts.
Well,
they're supposed to be titles.
I don't care what the turtle thinks of me. I don't think he's going to be calling my phone anytime soon. So
I don't know. We might want to listen for it.
Yeah, maybe. So then Seth Rollins with his mystery opponent, the worst kept secret on the planet.
Yes.
Although I did kind of think that at one point it could have been Goldberg.
Yeah.
But I didn't think they would save him for a surprise. I think they would have advertised him.
Yeah.
But when Cody's music hit and it was the AEW music and everybody's like, oh, well, he took the AEW music with him. He was using that music in Ring of Honor long before he went to AEW. He owns the rights to that music, so I'm not surprised he brought it with him. I didn't think he'd want generic WWE music like they're doing now for everybody else. He got a huge ovation. Everybody was happy to see him. I think a lot of the people want a redemption story from him.
Yeah.
They want him to come back to WWE and be a bigger star than he was, and he'll never be as big a star as Dusty, but I think people want to see him get in that main event picture in WWE. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's good for him, a fresh face getting into it. And so we're not just seeing, I like Brock Lesnar as an attraction, but he doesn't need to be champion. Some of these guys need to be champion. And I get, you said, oh, well, unify the belts so there'll be only one champion. What's Cody going to go after? You don't need to, with the way WWE does their storylines, it doesn't need to be as drawn out as Roman and Brock was all the time. You can kind of do transitional stuff every once in a while. I thought the match was great. I like Rollins. He kind of jumps back and forth between personas all the time, which can get annoying. Yeah. But you can't deny his in-ring work. No. And I think him and Cody worked really well together. It was a good old school match. The crowd was into it the whole time.
It was a great old school match.
It really was. And
they were pulling out fucking shit that we haven't seen in a long time. Even Edge and AJ Styles were pulling out a lot of old shit.
Oh yeah, it was really good. But then you get into Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair.
Oh,
Ronda is horrible in the ring. She looks like, what did I say? She looks like a giraffe on ice.
No, you said that about Charlotte.
Charlotte. Well, Ronda does too. Ronda looks like a deer in headlights. She gets that bitch look on her face, but then she just looks like she doesn't know what she's doing, like she's counting out moves.
Yeah.
And like Charlotte she looks like a giraffe on ice. I don't know how anybody says she's the best women's wrestler. I don't get that.
Watch any of her fucking matches, and you'll see her stop in the middle of a fucking match and be like, "What am I supposed to do?"
Yeah, she looks like she's stopping and going in the middle of moves, and I don't understand how anybody can say that she's the best women's wrestler.
She looks like she's looking for direction. Like, what do I do? What do I do?
She looks like she's looking for a cue off camera on what to do next. It wasn't a good match. It was a bad match. And now that I saw that on SmackDown, I guess Ronda wants an I Quit match. It's not going to be good. I'm sorry. If you like Ronda Rousey, if you like Charlotte Flair, good for you, but I don't. I think they're horrible.
They are fucking horrible.
But the end of night one, Austin and Kevin Owens. I think the KO show part of it went way too long with Owens talking. I mean, Owens is a great talker. He always was when he was in Ring of Honor as Kevin Steen. But the segment was great. Austin took some crazy bumps. I cannot believe he took that bump on the concrete. I think he took a couple on the concrete.
Yes, he did.
And it was great for what it was. I never thought we would see Austin take bumps again.
No.
It was a great way to end the first night. We watched it live, so I was a little drained at this point because we couldn't fast forward through anything, especially some of the stupid the ads that they were doing and like the videos that they did to pump up the stuff.
You know what? We forgot to talk about because I mentioned it. Edge and AJ Styles. That was part of night one.
No, that was in night two.
Oh yeah, it was night two.
It was night two, but it kind of all goes together.
Yes.
But I like the way night one went for the most part. Other than actually, to be honest, I like the matches on night two better. But there was solid matches on night one. I think the way they spread them out was actually good. I'm glad that Ronda Rousey and Charlotte wasn't the last impression that you got.
Thank God.
Yeah, I get that you want some of the women to be in a high profile match, but that was horrible.
No, Ronda should have never fucking won the Royal Rumble.
No, definitely.
No.
And then the year that they did the first one and Asuka won, Ronda ruined the whole thing by making her debut when she could have just done it on Raw the next night. So I get that she was a legit UFC fighter. They call her the baddest woman on the planet. But I've never understood the hype other than she brings people in that watched UFC. How long do they stay, really?
Right.
How much rating points are you going up when Ronda Rousey's on the screen? I don't think it's very much. We did not watch night two live. We have lives. We both work. So we watched it on Tuesday. So we did fast forward through a few things. No offense to any of the performers that were in those matches. Just we were both exhausted at that point. He had worked that day, so we were kind of going through till stuff that we really wanted to see. So we did skip the women's tag title match. Sasha and Naomi won. I was kind of hoping that Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley would win, but typical WWE. Let's go with the people that have been on the roster for years.
Of course not. Why not? Let's go with the ones that constantly are on TV in the fucking public eye instead of people that the fans want to fucking see win a title. No. Yeah. We're going to shove this shit down your fucking throat.
Right, like Sasha Banks needs another championship.
Yeah.
But Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville.
That was awesome.
I listened to Jim Cornette's rant on this match, and I understand as an old school guy, he hated that match. I grew up in the 80s. I love old school wrestling.
Yeah.
I love technical matches. But if you can't understand the comedy and just, okay, yes, it's goofy and you think it shouldn't be in pro wrestling. I'm sorry, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yes, it was fucking hilarious. And if you want to see the best fucking commentary, listen to Pat McAfee on this fucking match.
McAfee was going wild. He loved it. Yes. And that's my thing is, why can't you be a wrestling fan and like everything? I don't...
Exactly.
Okay, you don't like death matches, that's fine. But don't shit on it that other people like it.
Right.
Or you can shit on it, but to say that it doesn't belong there, I've seen stuff from Memphis that Jim Cornette used to watch. There was a lot of goofy stuff, like Frankenstein's monster, and stuff like that. So I understand why you would nitpick that match, but just for a pure, entertainment aspect of it, I thought it was great. Johnny Knoxville kind of screwed up the giant mousetrap thing at the end, but it's still visually to see Sami Zayn trapped in the mousetrap trying to kick out.
Yeah,
I thought it was great. It was great to see something like that. I'm glad we didn't fast forward through it because I wanted to see it anyways.
I wanted to see it.
I like Sami Zayn as a character anyways, and to know that, Johnny Knoxville gave out his phone number and people were calling Sami Zayn and driving him nuts. There are things that WWE does that can be entertaining and that they do put thought in, and I thought they did into that. So I thought that was good. Pat McAfee against Austin Theory. For anybody that didn't see Pat McAfee in NXT against Adam Cole, and the fact that's another thing that bothered me. They didn't show that stuff.
Yeah,
McAfee wrestled Adam Cole in an amazing match. McAfee in NXT was in the War Games match, and you didn't show any of that.
No, and he did a fucking fantastic job in both of those matches.
Yeah, and I don't understand why you wouldn't show that. But then again, it's WWE, so they didn't show that footage. The match was amazing. I like Austin Theory. I don't like the fact that he's with Vince McMahon, but if that's what it takes to get him in a good spot, I'm all for it. McAfee's an amazing athlete. He reminds me of Shelton Benjamin with the way he can leap up to the top rope and everything. It was
I love the fact that they chose his the song that they chose for his
White Stripes. Yeah, that was really cool. With the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, and he used to play pro football, so that makes sense. And I thought it was a great match. McAfee won, which was awesome. But then Vince McMahon, who was at ringside, comes in
and has to ruin it with his turtle
and then takes off his jacket and takes off his shirt and gets in the ring. And Austin Theory hits McAfee from behind, and Vince looked horrible. And for all the people that say Vince isn't surrounded by a bunch of yes men, that's a bunch of bullshit. Because there's no way that people were telling him not to do that. People were going, "Oh yeah, it's a great idea, Vince." Or if they were fighting it, they weren't fighting it too hard.
No,
because that was him being there was just ridiculous.
As soon as he took off his jacket, he looked like a fucking turtle, like he said.
McAfee was running into clotheslines. He was feeding into clotheslines. And when McMahon kicked him a couple times, doing horrible kicks. It was so bad, and the fact that he kicked the football into McAfee's gut, and that's what got the pin. And McMahon, it looked like he was about to fall over trying to get into the pinfall anyways. The only thing that saved it, and one thing is Theory's music played, and you see Vince go nuts, like he was expecting Austin's music and any music. He really is old if he can't tell what difference between Austin Theory's music and the glass breaking of Stone Cold's music. But Stone Cold coming out, the stunner.
Yeah. Oh,
he kicked Vince in the gut, and Vince went backwards, and Austin's trying to grab his head and trying to go back.
You want to talk about a newborn draft on fucking ice right
God.
there?
It was so bad. So bad. And
Byron Saxton took a night one of the fucking stunner like The Rock did.
Right. Austin Theory took it like Scott Hall did, just bouncing everywhere. But Vince, it took the first one that Vince took, put it to shame. Linda McMahon took a better stunner than Vince McMahon did here. But Austin was doing the beers, and he ended up stunning Pat McAfee, who just dropped backwards, and then McAfee was drinking a beer out on the floor. It was great. I love seeing Austin again. That music, the glass breaking is always going to get a reaction.
Yes.
He's a true legend. He's always going to get a reaction. I don't want to see him doing a lot of matches because I don't want to see him get hurt, and I'm not going to say he's going to ruin his legacy, but if it ended here and that was the last he does, in the ring, that's great to me.
I could, yes, please still show up for little cameos here and there in WWE. Don't do a full-on match anymore because you ended it right.
And I understand that people were saying, oh, well, it was just an excuse to get his beer on camera, to promote his beer and stuff. Okay, well, if that's what it took to get him in the ring, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
It's not like WWE hasn't shilled other people's shit before.
Right.
You know, and if that's your big gripe with, oh, it was because of his beer, he had two of the best segments on each night of WrestleMania. So, you know, if that's your sticking point, well, good for you. We did fast forward right through the Street Profits, RK Bro, and Alpha Academy. It's a multi-man tag match. I'm kind of over that at this point, too. And like I said, it's for another tag title. I don't care for Riddle. I don't care for RK Bro. The Street Profits, I like them in NXT, but I haven't really cared for them since they've been brought up to the main roster.
Yeah, because they've been fucking buried. That's the problem. When they bring people up from NXT, they fucking bury them.
Right. And Alpha Academy, I got to admit, I haven't seen a lot of them because I haven't watched Raw for a while, and I don't really care for it. Watching 3 hours of that it's hard for me. You know, I could watch 3 hours of AEW. You throw 3 hours of AEW on, I'm all for it. 3 hours of Impact, 3 hours of Ring of Honor, you know, but 3 hours of WWE, you know, uninterrupted, I can't do it. The New Day against Sheamus and Ridge Holland, I didn't know it was 2 minutes, and I wouldn't have known anyways because we fast-forwarded right through it. By the time I stopped the fast-forwarding after the RK Bro match, that match was done. And
it was like,
okay, you know, I like the New Day. I've always liked the New Day. Sheamus is kind of like another one where he's been on TV for so long. You know, not that I'm over it, but I just don't care anymore.
And what is it with Vince and changing Superstar's name? Butch?
Yeah, Butch. Yeah, Pete Dunne. Everybody knows who he is. He acts like that nobody knows what NXT was, and that as if Pete Dunne hadn't wrestled on the main roster at one point. You know, he was at Survivor Series at one point. But that's what happens when you have a man in his 70s running your fucking company. You know,
Gunther.
Yeah, Walter being Gunther. Yeah.
Oh God.
But so we fast forwarded right through that. Edge and AJ Styles.
That was fucking amazing. And Edge's new fucking character.
Yeah, with the different alter bridge music, the other side, which is cool. Him coming up on the throne with the flames was really cool. I like that it's dark. I actually like Damian Priest being with him.
If this is all just coming from Edge, I'm all for it.
Yeah, and
Vince, do not fucking get your hands into this.
It was a great match. I mean, how can you ever say anything bad about an AJ Styles match?
Right.
Edge can't go at 100% anymore, I don't think, but it was still really good. They took their time. AJ, you know, got some good moves in, and he got some of his stuff in, but Edge shut him down on a lot of stuff. I do, like you said, I like the new Edge character.
Yes.
You know, the cryptic stuff, and I thought it was a great match. Like I said, I think night 1 and night 2, they had a really good balance of good matches between the two. Lashley and Omos or whatever.
Whatever you want to call it.
Fast forwarded right through that. To me, Omos is the new Great Khali. He may be more athletic or whatever, but he can't cut a promo, and he just... I
think the best idea that they did so far with his character is teaming him up with MVP the next night.
Oh, yeah, because MVP can talk for him.
Yes.
You know, but what are you going to do with him? You know, you're going to make him champion, and then, you know, somebody's going to topple him as the Giant. You did that with Giant Gonzalez. You did that with the Great Khali. You've done it with so many guys.
Quick, get Hulk Hogan so Hulk Hogan can be like, I body slammed another giant.
No, let's not do that. I don't think Hogan could lift anybody right now. But you haven't done a Giant well since Andre the Giant. So, you know, and you could argue Big Show, okay, fine. But the Giants, I'm over. You got Dabo Kato too. You know, I think that Veer guy is really tall. The tall guys are not doing it for anybody anymore, I don't think. So we fast forwarded through that. To get to the main event, for like the 8th time they've wrestled, Brock against Roman Reigns.
The only thing entertaining about that was Brock Lesnar asking for the fucking mic.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar's great. He's having fun apparently, and I like, you know, the promos that he's cutting. Even if he screws up, they're still entertaining.
Yes.
You know, the the cowboy gimmick that he's doing, or the redneck kind
Yeah.
of, the flannel shirts and all that. I think it's great. He didn't need the title.
No.
He didn't need to win the title from Big E. It sucks that Big E got. Actually, to be honest, I'm glad Big E got beat for the title before getting injured and having to lose the title or give up the title. And thoughts and prayers to Big E. I hope he recovers fully and he can wrestle again, because that's a guy that had a lot of potential. For the long haul, could have been a big money drawer for the company. So. But Brock versus Roman, you've seen this before. Suplexes, Superman punches, Roman acting, ridiculous with the head of the table, acknowledge me stuff.
If anything, now that he's the head of the table, they should not call it the Superman punch anymore. They should call it the tribal fucking punch. I should say, you should fucking change it to that.
Well, I don't think they care what you think, but... And, they don't care.
That's the problem. Nobody does.
Yeah, they don't care what we think. It was a typical, Suplex City and Superman punches and spears.
Suplex City, bitch.
Yeah, people get kicking out of stuff and, F5s. And it was a typical Brock match. He hasn't really changed it up in a while. So I get that he's an attraction and all that.
I think the best match that Brock has had in a long time and recent was AJ Styles.
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
Yeah.
That he had.
And AJ could fly for him and flip for him really well too. But, Roman kind of goes over like a sack of shit for those German suplexes. So, but for them to say it's the greatest, WrestleMania main event ever.
That's because Roman Reigns is a shack of fucking shit.
I was thinking about this. The most stupendous two-night WrestleMania of all time, the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. Was Jerry from Rick and Morty coming up with your slogans for this? This was the got apples of, of WrestleMania, advertising. It was not the greatest WrestleMania match of all time. I would say that, Lawrence Taylor against Bam Bam Bigelow was better than this, Giant Gonzalez and Undertaker was better than this match. It wasn't the greatest way to end night 2. All in all, I thought it was going to be a stinker of a WrestleMania, just the way it was built up. But there was some solid matches, and I enjoyed it. I would like being able to fast forward through some of it.
Yes.
Because it does get tedious when you're watching some of these, and when you're in a comfortable lazy boy chair. You do tend to fall asleep.
Going back to us watching the new Batman movie, if you're gonna fucking pay $11, $11 people,
easy,
for
calm down,
ticket, do not fall asleep and freaking snore in the movie theater.
There was literally a guy in our row, at the end of our row, who reclined in the seat and was snoring through most of the movie.
My God.
If the volume of the movie wasn't up loud enough where it drowned out the movie, I was about ready to punt that dude in the head. and at one point, you walked out to get some popcorn and woke him up, and he still went back to sleep.
Exactly.
It was a great movie, though. I thought the Riddler was good. It was actually a great weekend watching the Batman, and then doing night 1, and then doing night 2 a couple days later. It was actually a lot of fun. As wrestling fans, it's hard not to get hyped up for WrestleMania, but I just wasn't. I mean, like the Pat McAfee match, I was excited for.
Yes, and AJ Styles
and Edge. Yeah, I was. Knowing that Cody was going to be, because if you didn't know it was going to be Cody, where the hell have you been?
Right.
Okay, you might not read the internet, but still,
was it Michael Cole on commentary that said that nobody was expecting this?
Yeah, well, he had to say that because somebody told him to say that in his ear. But,
quick, say it! I'll pay you more money!
And to be honest, I was not bothered by Michael Cole's commentary. Usually I am, especially the Pat McAfee one, because he was genuinely excited. That was not Michael Cole trying to be excited. He's a friend of Pat McAfee, and he was really excited about watching that match and being excited for Pat McAfee, which I really liked. All in all, I'm going to have to agree with my other friend Dave. 6 out of 10 for WrestleMania.
Yes.
Because of the matches that we skipped and the matches that were horrible. 6 out of 10, I think, is right. I kind of want to see where they're gonna go with Edge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I hope McAfee wrestles more, but I to be honest, a lot of this stuff I'm not interested to see where it goes. I don't care about an I Quit match between Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair.
Give a fuck about that.
No. And
if they're gonna bring Knoxville back some more to do some more shit with Sami Zayn, I'm more for it.
I don't know if they will. I think this was just to do for the movie. If Johnny Knoxville does more stuff, that's great.
That is great.
He's a great character, and he can bring in a mainstream
With
audience.
the fucking suit that he was wearing for WrestleMania, all I can think about is the dominoes, the Noid.
Oh, the Noid.
Yeah.
He did resemble the Noid. I will give you that. He did look like the Noid. But that match was highly entertaining. I can't say too much bad about WrestleMania other than the build-up. The build-up, they need to learn how to, or go back to building up pay-per-views better. Another thing, this may offend some people, and I don't care. No more America the Beautiful. No more national anthem. I get that it's a tradition at big events, but I'm kind of over it.
Unless you bring somebody in that can actually fucking sing it and sing it right. Like Lillian Garcia.
Yeah, you want to do a throwback and have Lillian Garcia do it on night one. You don't need it on 2 different nights. And these I know who Brantley Gilbert, or whatever, Brantley Gilbert.
I didn't even know who the fuck he was.
He's a country artist. I didn't know who the chick was on night 2. The same thing when Bad Bunny came in. And everybody's like, oh, he's so popular. He sells all these records. I'm 41 years old. I don't know who he is.
I'm 29. I didn't even know who the fuck he was.
Right, and that's the thing is, if you don't know who he is, and then you say, well, who is he? And then people were like, well, you should know. He's this and this and this. Well, I don't know. Really? So guess what? There's a lot of people like me that don't know and don't care. So you're not drawing in as many people as you think you are because of that.
Right.
I knew who Ronda Rousey was. But Bad Bunny, and no disrespect to Bad Bunny, the matches that he's been in, the stuff that he's done, been phenomenal.
Yes.
Somebody else that loves the business and that took it seriously and trained right for it.
Yes.
So that's fine. But saying that, oh, well, he's just going to bring in all these people, you don't need to bring people in for it anymore. You're not selling pay-per-views anymore. So what the hell's the point? You're not bringing in extra eyeballs to the network. So you don't need the celebrity rub anymore like you did previously to sell pay-per-views. And that's another reason why I don't think they put as much emphasis into hyping up these pay-per-views or premium live events like they call them now. Like your Saudi Arabia shows, I don't care about those. I don't care about your blood money shows. But all in all, I enjoyed WrestleMania. I enjoyed watching it with you.
Yes.
I actually didn't even mention it. Our prediction board, which is a tradition. Yes. I've been doing it for so many years, at least over 15 years I've been doing the prediction board. I think it's closer to 20. But I did the worst out of everybody. My friend Steve was the winner, and you and my other friend Dave tied. I had the least. I think I only had 4 matches right. Usually I'm actually pretty good at doing that, but this is a tradition that we always do. I mean, I just printed out the pictures and put them on a foam board, but for us, it's fun to kind of see where we land on predicting.
I'm surprised I won the Royal Rumble match with Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
And I just fucking was like, fuck it, I'm just... And it was like, oh my god!
Right. I mean, we all got Cody. We all knew it was going to be Cody.
Yeah.
But it's just something fun that we do. I don't know what our next show is going to be on. We were thinking about doing the NWO at one point, but we do so much with wrestling. Yes. We go to signings and stuff, and so much. I mean, we're definitely going to talk about the pay-per-view.
Yes.
Because that's going to be amazing. We'll talk about driving down. Our tradition is we listen to entrance music all the way down and all the way back. We might sprinkle some other music in.
Yep.
But it's just what we do.
Should we talk about the one show that we went to, the Dynasty show? Where on the way back.
This was many, many years ago. The show had no guardrails. They used electrical cord for guardrails. You mean when I got pulled over, or when I was pulled over? I was pulled over to the side of the road to change the GPS to get home, And the cops pulled over thinking that we were doing something nefarious and knocked on my window. And I just had to explain about my GPS, and they just kind of drove away. But
what was perfect though, after they left, the D-Generation X fucking song hit on the radio.
yeah, you were all happy about that. But yeah, we've had some interesting, experiences at shows, which we might go into at some point. As you can see, I have a couple posters up from shows that I've been to, one with Sting and another one with Ric Flair. I might talk about some of that stuff at some point because I have gone to a lot of shows, a lot.
Yes, you guys.
There was a point where I was going to indie wrestling shows at least 3 times a month. And we've gone to many shows up here. If you're in the Northeast and you can't find an indie wrestling show to go to...
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, because they're everywhere. I get notifications on Twitter and on Facebook about wrestling shows constantly. Just because of wrestlers that I follow. And I know people, indie wrestlers that I follow. So I get indie wrestling shows all the time. We plan on going to more.
Yeah.
Hopefully the next Tough and Talented wrestling one, we're supposed to have a table at that one, so we're gonna hand out our flyers. And
careful, they might put somebody through our table.
Well, I hope not, because they'll own the table. So, but hopefully we'll do that, and we can put some videos up from that. You can follow us on Twitter at Cheap Pops Show. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Just look up Cheap Pops Show. I made sure that if, Cheap Pops Show, if you do that, it comes up for all our stuff. So subscribe to us on YouTube. I don't know how often we're going to be able to do these videos because, like I said, we both work. So sometimes it's hard to do our schedules.
Yeah.
We do want to do this more often because we do have stuff to talk about. There is wrestling that we do enjoy.
Yes.
We don't want to just talk about current stuff. We do want to talk about older stuff too.
Yes.
But hopefully you like what you saw today. Leave a comment. Let us know. Even if you have negative feedback, I don't care. Put it anyways because I just want to see it. We're not doing this to get famous. We're not, we just want to have fun doing this, and hopefully a few people watch it and they like it and they tell us what they like. We want to go to Comic-Cons and do videos at Comic-Cons interviewing people or, stuff like that. I don't want to do a table, like I've told him, I don't want to do a table at a Comic-Con.
No.
I want to walk around and interview people, cosplayers, and, stuff like that. Hand out our flyers, spread the word a little bit. Like I said, we're not trying to get famous.
No.
We're just having fun with this. So, I hope you liked it. If you didn't, well, good for you. This has been the Cheap Pop Show. I'm Dave.
I'm Nick.
Thanks for checking us out.